In the background of our daily lives, while we scroll through our feeds, watch movies, and go about our day, a silent revolution is happening. It's not being televised on the nightly news, and politicians are only just beginning to grasp its scale. This revolution is powered by artificial intelligence, but not the AI you hear about every day, not just chatbots asking to write an email. We're going to go deep. We'll break down the groundbreaking AI tools that were just released, and most importantly, we'll answer the question, so what? What does this mean for your job, for American innovation, for Hollywood, and for the global balance of power? That era is officially over. AI is now placing the power to generate reality into anyone's hands. I'm talking about something deeper. Previous AI models struggled, giving you a slightly less blurry mess, but Tear, it almost perfectly reconstructs the original text, right down to the font. It does this because it combines two different AI brains, one that is an expert at restoring images, and another that's an expert at recognizing text. By working together, they can deduce that this blurry shape must be the letter L from Louis Vuitton. This isn't just about restoring old photos. Imagine its use in forensics, analyzing blurry security footage, or in historical preservation. It's a tool that recovers lost information from the noise. You give it a text prompt like, "a serene lake at sunset," and it generates a fully immersive photorealistic 3D environment that you can move through as if you were in VR. Some of these incredible tools are coming from familiar names like NVIDIA and Midjourney. With this, you just give it a single 2D picture. It understands that the metal parts of this cabinet should be shiny and reflective, while the plant leaves are matte. That's the problem a new tool from NVIDIA called Part Tracker is solving. Instead of just creating a single, solid 3D object, Part Tracker is smart enough to break the object down into its logical, movable parts. It captures the complex porcelain texture of this cat, and here's the kicker, it intelligently guesses what the back of the object looks like. This is one of the best open source tools on the planet right now for this task. And when I say open source, it means it's free for anyone to use and build upon. Think about the implications for e-commerce, where you can turn a product photo into an interactive 3D model, or for indie game developers, who can now create assets in a fraction of the time. A picture of a cat, a piece of furniture, a character you drew, and it generates a fully textured 3D model in seconds, but many are coming from companies like Tencent and ByteDance. The AI arms race is real, and it's happening faster than anyone is admitting. Have you ever found an old family photo but the text on a sign or a t-shirt is just a blurry mess? A new AI called Tear, or Text-Aware Image Restoration, is solving this with terrifying accuracy. This means you can immediately take this model and animate the wheels to spin. For this treasure chest, it separates the lid from the body, so you can make it open and close. This is a massive leap for animators and designers. It bridges the gap between a static model and a usable, animatable asset. So let's pull back the curtain on the silent revolution, starting with the tools that are learning to rebuild our reality. A wave of highly specialized, incredibly powerful tools being released week after week, each one a new brick in the foundation of our future. These tools are learning to see, to create, to reason, and to build worlds in ways we once thought were decades away. Over the next 80 minutes, we're not just going to look at the headlines, because this isn't just a tech story. It's an economic story, a creative story, and a story about national competitiveness. For decades, creating a realistic 3D world was the exclusive domain of massive Hollywood studios and video game companies, requiring armies of artists and millions of dollars. Let's start with something that seems small but has huge implications, fixing the unfixable. Look at this. The original image on the left is practically unreadable, but what about creating something from scratch? That's where Hunyan 3D 2.1 from Tencent comes in. Forget complex 3D modeling software. What's incredible here is the attention to texture and material. But what if you need more control? What if you want to animate that model? Look at this car. It understands that the wheels are separate objects from the chassis. And finally, to cap off this new reality, we have Immersigan. This isn't about creating a single object. It's about creating an entire world. The level of detail here is staggering. This is by far the best quality we've seen from this type of generator. It works by layering different AI processes. One builds the basic terrain, another adds textures, a third places assets like trees and rocks, and a final one adds dynamic elements like birds, clouds, and even ambient sound. This is the future of virtual reality, meditation apps, architectural visualization, and gaming, the ability to generate not just objects but entire worlds from a simple sentence. This chapter of the AI revolution is about erasing the line between our imagination and a tangible digital reality. Hyper is playing in the big leagues. It understands complex motion and maintains consistency in ways that were considered state-of-the-art just a few weeks ago. The quality coming from these new models is evolving not year by year but month by month. You have a video of a person but you want to change their shirt. In the past, this was a nightmare of motion tracking and rotoscoping. With Loridit, you just Photoshop the shirt in the first frame, feed it to the AI, and boom, the shirt is swapped out for the entire duration, perfectly preserving the person's motion and the rest of the scene. It works by creating a mask, essentially telling the AI, only change this part, leave everything else alone. This is a game changer for post-production and visual effects. If generating static worlds wasn't enough, the last few months have seen an absolute explosion in AI's ability to understand and create motion. This tool allows you to take reference images of multiple people, give them separate audio clips, and generate a video of them having a conversation. It can handle multiple people, different languages, and even different art styles, like this cartoon scene. The potential for automated content creation, dubbing films into other languages, and creating virtual presenters is enormous. This technology, once perfected, could fundamentally change the economics of media production. The video revolution isn't coming, it's here, and it's forcing us to question what is real and who gets to create it. AI video is here, and it's evolving at a terrifying pace. This week we saw two major new players enter the field. First, Midjourney, the undisputed king of AI image generation, finally released its first video model, Midjourney V1. For slow-moving scenes, portraits, and artistic shots, it does a fine job. However, let's be blunt, in a world where we already have Sora, Kling, and others, Midjourney V1 feels a little late to the party. It's only image to video, not text to video. The resolution is capped at a low 480p and it can't handle high action scenes very well. It's a solid first step, but it shows just how competitive this space has become. Midjourney has a specific vibe, a unique aesthetic that is beautiful and coherent. And a prime example of that competition is the other major release this week, Hyper H2 from Miniax. And this is on another level. Look at the prompt adherence, the understanding of physics, the overall coherence. A fascinating new tool called Loridit offers a revolutionary new workflow. Instead of complicated timelines and keyframes, you just edit the first frame of a video, and the AI applies that change throughout the entire clip. But creation is only half the battle. What about editing? Think about this. And finally, we have what might be the holy grail of character animation coming from ByteDance, the creators of TikTok. It's called Interact Human. This is a massive step beyond simple lip syncing. The AI directs the entire scene. It controls who speaks when, their facial expressions, their subtle movements. Behind all these creative tools, a different kind of race is happening, a race for pure intelligence. The power of large language models, or ELMs, is determined by their size and their reasoning ability. Miniax M1, from the same company that made Hyper, just entered the ring, and it's an absolute heavyweight. It performs on par with the best closed-source models from Google and OpenAI, but here's the difference. Miniax M1 is open source, and this week we saw two breakthroughs that push the boundaries of both. How? It's clever. It curates a special training regimen, making sure the problems are never too easy and never too hard. It constantly challenges the model, forcing it to explore different ways of thinking instead of just repeating what it knows. Making AI faster and cheaper is what will ultimately bring it to the masses. For years, AI image generators like Stable Diffusion have had a trade-off. You want a high-quality image? You need to run it for 20, 30, even 50 steps. It takes time and a lot of computing power. But here's the crazy part, it has a 1 million token context window that is gigantic. That's exactly what Align Your Flow does. It's a new distillation method. Think of it like this. You take a master artist like a big, slow AI model and have it teach a talented apprentice Align Your Flow. The apprentice learns the essence of the master's skill but can work much, much faster. The question is, are we as a nation paying enough attention? The only choice we have is whether we want to be the architects of this new world or simply live in the one that others have built. Are we investing enough in our own talent? Are we fostering an environment where the next Polaris, the next Hyper, the next Immersigan is born here? It is like being able to have a conversation with an AI that has just read the entire Lord of the Rings series, plus The Hobbit, and remembers every single detail. Compared to other fast generation methods, the quality from Align Your Flow is in a different league. That cute jumping spider, that squirrel drumming with acorns. And what do you think America should be doing to lead this revolution? Thanks for watching. These were generated with a fraction of the computing power normally required. This means high-quality AI image generation could soon be possible on your phone, in your web browser, almost instantaneously. It removes the barrier of time and cost. The economics of media are being rewritten. The definition of reality itself is becoming flexible, but more than that, it underscores the urgency of the global technology race. Innovation in this field is not a choice. It's a necessity for economic and strategic leadership in the 21st century. That is a revolution in itself. For comparison, many leading models have a context window of around 128,000 to 200,000 tokens. This allows the M1 to analyze massive code bases, entire financial reports, or complex legal cases in a single prompt. We've seen AI that can restore lost information, build 3D worlds from a single photo, and create entire virtual realities from a sentence. We've seen AI that can edit video with a single click and generate conversations between virtual characters. We've witnessed an intelligence explosion, with open source models from China competing at the highest level and new training methods that make small models giant killers. And we've seen how it's all getting faster and more efficient. Coming from a Chinese company, this open source release is a major strategic move in the global AI landscape. First, let's talk about Miniax M1. You've heard of ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. That means anyone can download it, run it on their own machines, and build on top of it. This is a huge deal for innovation, but what if you could make an AI smarter without making it bigger? That's the promise of Polaris, a new fine-tuning method that is frankly mind-blowing. Think of Polaris like a hyper-specialized personal trainer for AI models. It takes an existing, even a small model, and makes it dramatically better at reasoning, and after training it with Polaris, it outperformed massive models like Grok and Claude. Opus on key reasoning benchmarks. Let me repeat that. A model that is over 160 times smaller was able to beat some of the biggest players in the industry. This is monumental. It means the future of AI might not just be about building bigger and bigger models, but about building smarter training methods. It democratizes power. You may not need $1 billion data center to have a world-class AI. You might just need the world's best AI trainer. Polaris is that trainer. The result? They took a tiny 4 billion parameter model called Quen. The final chapter in this week's revolution isn't about flashy new capabilities, but about something just as important: speed and efficiency. A perfect example is Align Your Flow from NVIDIA. What if you could get a stunning image in just 1 or 2 steps? The results speak for themselves. What have we seen? This is the silent revolution. It's not one single breakthrough. It's a dozen breakthroughs happening simultaneously, all building on each other. This brings us back to the most important question. What does this mean for us in America? It means the nature of creativity is changing. The tools we've discussed today are the building blocks of the future. The revolution is happening whether we are ready or not. Let me know in the comments which of these tools surprised or impressed you the most.